Hi, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ethan. For those of you who do know me, I'm still Ethan. So, anyways, today I wanted to speak on just the feeling of when you have been good for a while, right? And I guess when you begin to start to feel things again that weren't necessarily productive, right? When you begin to find yourself in a headspace where things are starting to become a little bit more negative. Um, Again, when you've worked so hard to get away from that negative headspace, um, and you find yourself starting to have some doubts or, worries, anxieties. Again, um, I guess I can speak on it because it's something I can kind of feel myself beginning to experience again as well. I've been in a really, really good headspace for a while. Um, I could have said that for a little span there, a couple of months or so, I was in a really good place mentally. Nothing could have brought me down per se. Um, but I suppose that as February comes to a close, I'm being met with a multitude of factors that, um, while at first they weren't necessarily worrying me, the further we get into the month of February, they're starting to concern me a little bit more. They're starting to become a little bit more pressing as time also continues to press. And so I guess I just wanted to maybe kind of just share that with someone. Um, and also maybe share my experience on how I've been dealing with it. You know, um, I've been doing some things to try to help get myself back into a better headspace. Like, for example, going on walks. I know a lot of people don't ever really talk about this, but I feel like another thing that I haven't really mentioned before that helps a lot with when you're experiencing negative thoughts and emotions is just going for a walk. Put in your headphones or earphones, whatever, what have you, and just go for a quick walk, 10, 20, 30 minutes tops, just around the block. It helps a lot. And I know that's also something that's been scientifically proven to help due to the fact that the movement helps circulate blood better. And that's what helps you to think a lot more clearly and rationally and, to kind of ease yourself of those worries a little bit more as well. Um, that's why a lot of times no one ever really knew beforehand, but that's why a lot of people who seem to have busy minds or who a lot of anxieties, that's why you always see them pacing, is because subconsciously that movement eases you, it helps you, you know. And so that's why I also believe that going for walks helps. Before I used to do it just because I guess I just felt the urge, but now knowing that the research shows that it does help with that, I can fully, kind of endorse the idea of going for a walk whenever you're feeling yourself begin to experience those negative emotions again. On top of that, there's been studying the Word of God. When I feel myself beginning to experience doubts and questions, it provides a little comfort. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it provides like a bunch of comfort. It eases all of my worries, because that would be a lie. But it does provide a bit of comfort, to be able to turn to, scripture, to turn to God, to rely at least a bit on that spirituality to ease me of those worries. Knowing that there's a higher form of existence that could potentially play a hand in, just relieving me of those anxieties. And then on top of that, I usually also like to pair it with, as many of you may know, meditation. I've been a very big, supporter of the idea of meditation, the practice of meditation. I love meditating. I love what it's done for me and for others around me, the people who I know that partake in meditation. It seems to just have a very, very good result, for lack of a better word, in everyone's lives. I think everyone could benefit from meditation. But then, what happens when you begin to experience those thoughts and emotions to a degree that it almost becomes kind of overwhelming, right? When you find yourself, pardon me, when you find yourself experiencing those emotions and thoughts to a degree that's just so overbearing that you can't really get rid of it so easily, and it becomes a little bit difficult to even try to disarm them. When you can say maybe that it's crippling, those negative thoughts and emotions become crippling in a sense, because now you're stuck sitting there and all you want to do is lie there. You don't want to put any energy into anything, let alone trying to relieve yourself of those thoughts and emotions. You kind of wish that something would just take them away, right? And that's where the feeling of choosing to see God early, so I could put it, may come from, because you just become so overwhelmed by those negative emotions and feelings that the only place you can turn to in your mind is just the quick release of death, because it's the only thing that that would fully 100% just relieve you of having to think or feel anything ever again negatively. And obviously I've been there. I've had those thoughts, I've had those feelings. It's the only reason why I can even speak on it in the first place. But it's not the answer. No matter how much you're feeling it, I just want you to remember that it's not the answer. It's not going to resolve anything. It's only... Gosh, I'm so tired. It's only going to push those negative thoughts and emotions that you were feeling onto others. And in certain instances, there are people who might feel particularly lonely, who would think, oh, it doesn't matter. There's no one who cares about me like that anyways. And I would contend that there probably is. There more than likely is, and you just don't know it, or you don't feel it to that extent. Because I'll admit, there are people who care about other people, but maybe don't do such a great job of particularly showing that or expressing it, or even wording it. Because I've been one of those people, and I've had people like that for me in the past who I know that they care for me deeply, but there's just a little bit of that disconnect in terms of actually feeling it, of being certain of it, of being how to say, I don't know, covered in it, or comforted in it, so to speak. It's sometimes they're there and they just don't really know how to get it across. And That's not necessarily on them. It's not necessarily on you. But sometimes maybe you just need to figure out how to get across to those people, maybe, and maybe express how you feel. Because even though it's a tough conversation to have, I feel like the sooner you put it out in the open, a couple of things will happen. First thing would be you hearing yourself speak it out loud will make it real in a way that will allow you to understand what you're even thinking and how crazy it sounds, you know. Because when it's just in your head, when it's just voices and thoughts in your head, it's a lot easier to allow them to control you, or to allow you to ignore your ability to rationalize what's actually happening, you know. But when you hear yourself say it out loud, you're going to hear yourself say it, and you're going to think to yourself, just like if someone else said that to you, you're going to think, why would you do that? Because when it's just in your head, you can't really do that, but you hear it out loud, it makes it real. And then on the second point, you telling someone that, especially if it's someone that you care about, maybe, or someone who you feel is just at least close enough to maybe care about you to some extent, it's going to allow that person into the things that you're thinking and feeling to a degree where now they will potentially be able to reach out to you. Whereas if you don't let them know what's going on, they're never going to know that you're someone that needs to be reached out to in the first place. And I'm not saying that it's now their responsibility to take care of you or to coddle you or any of those things, but they can at least know, hey, this person may not be in the best place mentally. What can I do to ensure that they feel loved, that they feel cared about, you know, that they feel seen and heard? But I digress. Aside from that, you know, it's also maybe just going out and trying to find ways to entertain yourself, but in healthy ways. Of course, we don't want to go crazy. We don't want to go overboard. Just, you know, finding the presence of friends or family or both, and finding ways to allow that love to enter your space. Because 9 times out of 10, that's gonna be one of the things that can help the most when you're experiencing negativity, is an external form of positivity, right? Maybe find a mentor. Mentors help a lot too, especially when you can find someone, you know, who has been through the things that you're going through. And that's something that's helped me, is finding a mentor, someone who can speak to what I'm going through because they've been there, and can maybe offer some insight, or at least, if nothing else, some words of calm, you know, some words to provide you with some form of relaxation, right? But yeah, obviously, everyone's a little different. Some things might work more, some things might work less. It's up to you to figure it out, put them into practice, and hopefully discover whatever it is that works for you. And I hope you do discover whatever it is that works for you. Because, you know, at the end of the day, that's not a way that I would want anyone else to live, is in those negative thoughts and emotions. You know, I wouldn't want that for myself. I wouldn't want that for anyone else. You know, everyone deserves to experience some form of contentment, right? Some form of happiness, relaxation, at least, neutrality. But yeah, I guess that's all I have to say for today, for right now. So, as always, if you feel like you need to talk, if you want somebody just there to listen, I'm always here. I'm always available, free to talk, 24/7, 365. Just reach out to me through one of the various social media links in my description below. And I will always do my best to get back to you as soon as possible, because you are not alone. You are never alone. And I hope at this point that you feel that you understand that, you know. But yeah. If no one told you today, I'm proud of you. I love you. Please take care of yourself. And yeah, keep going. You got this. Yeah, we got this. Anyways, yeah. Until next time, peace.